I'm just sitting here in the woods protecting all the little woodland creatures, and I find myself at home here, and I think I'm going to be hanging out in the woods on my little mushroom stoop for quite some time. This backdrop reminds me of the movie Legend, and if you haven't seen it already, it's a classic from the 80s. And speaking of the 80s, it is my favorite era because it was the time I was a teenager and I was first discovering makeup and boys and who I am and what I want to be and what I want to do in life. 10-lane highway and the sky's the limit. I thought I was going to be an astronaut, and then I thought I was going to be a musician because I played saxophone for 10 years, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was a hippie, I was punk. Basically, I was having fun, and it was a great time to be a teenager because it was an innocent time to be a teenager. I was shopping a few nights ago in a little store called Sprouts, and they sell a lot of organic food, groceries, exotic sort of frozen foods, and a lot of vegan stuff and a lot of supplements. And I noticed they were having a 25% off supplement sale, and in the supplement aisle they had their cosmetics. They were including the cosmetics in their 25% off sale, so I thought I would take a look. Sprouts had a nice little display of Pacifica makeup, and if you aren't familiar with Pacifica, I saw their brand in, I think it was like Target, and you would see it in their like cosmetics aisles and stuff like that, and they had like lip balms and there were little roll-on perfumes and stuff. But they've recently released a huge line of skincare and cosmetics, so they've branched out to include eyeshadow palettes and highlighters and all kinds of other fun stuff. So I found this little palette. Let's see if you can see it. It's called Beachy Punk, and I thought they were kind of fun colors because I'm drawn to this kind of green chartreuse color in any kind of palette that I see, and I felt inspired by it, and it kind of called out to me, so I immediately picked it up, and it was 25% off. So just a quick note here, the palette was $17.99. I purchased it for $13.49 on sale. And why is it at that price point? I would venture to say that it's because it's coconut infused mineral eyeshadow, so you're paying for the ingredients, and it's a cute little vegan and cruelty-free palette. Why not? I'm not sure about the pigmentation. I'm not sure about how it performs. I've never tried their makeup before, so I thought I would test it out on camera for the first time and share it with all of you in my little woodland home. Now, I've teased my hair out quite a bit, and I'm wearing a little like 80s style choker and some big colorful jewelry because I'm trying to tap into the 80s vibes that I recall deep down in my psyche buried. I remember I was an 80s child, and we liked colors, we liked neon, we liked all kinds of fun stuff. We were into punk, we were into metal, we were into new wave. We loved everything, at least I did, and I didn't just fit one sort of niche. I was kind of hippie, kind of punk, kind of everything. When I first picked up this palette, I noticed it was called Beachy Punk, which I thought was kind of cool, and then I flipped it over and I noticed like the names of the shades, and there's Pretty Vacant, which this is kind of edgy for this brand because to me this brand represents like vegan, cruelty-free, sort of wholesome, clean-cut makeup, right? But Pretty Vacant is a Sex Pistols song or Sex Pistols reference, punk band from, the late 70s and 80s that was kind of controversial and pretty awesome. There's another shade, Rebel. That's a David Bowie reference. Heroes, another David Bowie reference. Starman, David Bowie again. There's Tomboy, there's Schooled 1970, Casbah. The Clash, Rock the Casbah. Blondie, Debbie Harry was the lead singer for the group Blondie. They were super huge back in the late 70s and 80s. Really awesome, one of my favorites. And Raw Power, I almost said powder. Raw Power is the purple shade, and I'm fascinated by this palette because there are all these edgy references to like 80s culture and stuff, which is pretty neat coming from Pacifica. So I want to do like an 80s inspired look, or I'm gonna try my best, and here goes nothing. Now, before I started shooting these videos, this is the kind of thing that I would do on my day off from work. This is my makeup therapy. This is my fun time. I'm gonna take a little White Rain hairspray and boost up my hair again. Not only did I grow up in the 80s, but I grew up in the 80s in New Jersey, and we liked our hairspray. Beachy Punk is coconut infused mineral eye shadows. It's 100% vegan and cruelty free. You can do smoky eye looks, you can do color looks as well. It says, for easy to create looks, visit www.pacificabeauty.com. I'm just gonna do my own thing, but I'm kind of interested what looks they have there, so I might look at that after the fact. But it has all the symbols here. It has the cruelty-free bunny, vegan, and it's recyclable, 24 months, so it lasts 2 years, so that's a long life. It's a long shelf life. It's made in the USA with the best globally sourced ingredients. And it's from Portland, Oregon. Oh, I didn't know the company was from Portland, Oregon. How cool is that? I've always wanted to go to Portland, and one day I will go. Now we're gonna open up our palette for the first time. I haven't opened it yet. This is like a cardboard package, which is fun. That's not a mirror. You can see clear through to the other side. Hi, hello. I'm gonna try to swatch some of these. I don't like to swatch because I feel like the eyeshadows perform differently on the eye than they do in a swatch, but I see people online get really upset when eyeshadow, reviews and makeup reviews don't include the swatching, so I'm going to swatch it for you. It doesn't have the names of the shades on the back, so I'm gonna have to grab the original box packaging, and we're gonna start with the top and just go down. And we're gonna do Pretty Vacant, Raw Power, Rebel, and Blondie. Top 4. There we go. See, this is what I mean. It's very faint, and my lighting, isn't the best for this kind of thing. Blondie is a very light color, and that barely shows up on my skin. But I think it'll be a nice one for like blending and veiling, I guess, if you will. The next 4 we have Heroes. We have Heroes, Casbah, Starman, and 1970. 1970 is my funky green color that I can't wait to get into. So we're gonna go. These two colors are kind of exactly the same. You have Heroes and Casbah. Let's see here. In there, kind of like a charcoal teal. Next we have the darkest shade Starman next to 1970 that I'm really excited about. I love that green. I love that green so much. All right, guys, right here. My lights are so bright, it's hard to tell. Oh, that green that I love is that chartreuse. It has like a little bit of shimmer to it. Okay, now I have the last 2. These are shimmery as well, Tomboy and Schooled. All right. Schooled is like a copper. I used to wear a lot of copper eyeshadows back in the 80s, so I'm gonna put it like right here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, so they're pretty. Not highly pigmented, but they're pretty. In a way, I'm kind of glad that I did those swatches because I waited to conceal my eyes to see how pigmented those shadows really are. And they're very lightly pigmented, so they're meant for, everyday kind of looks. And I'm going to attempt to do something a little more avant-garde. So right now I'm just going to conceal my lids and underneath, so that, in the hopes that the shadows will pop if they have a light or bright base underneath them. And this is Pure Cosmetics Disappearing Ink Concealer. I'm going to put on a base of that lightest shade, which was Blondie. That one right up here. And just cover, yeah, see, it's good for priming the lid, I guess, for whatever color, because it is so light. Hopefully it'll make the other shadows sort of pop. So I'm going to cover the entire lid with it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 shades, and it looks like 5 mattes and 5 shimmers. So I'm going to take Rebel, and I'm just going to use this as like a transition shade. Back in the 80s, we used to cover our entire eyelid with eyeshadow. We would go all the way up to the top and around and beyond. That was kind of like punk and kind of cool. Just blending out the edges here with my little blending brush. I'm gonna go a little bold with my color choice, and I think I'm going to go in the inner portion of my eye and the outer portion with this fun shimmer purple shade, which is Raw Power. Come on, Raw Power. Ooh, it's a very pretty lavender color. On the outside. Now, it's kind of a shimmer, so I'm taking a little bit of my Wet n Wild Natural Finish Setting Spray, and I'm going to hit my brush with it. And I'm going back into that purple. Let's see if I can lay down some pigment with a wet brush. Yeah, a little more pigment there. That worked a lot better than the dry brush, just putting down some color. Now, since I'm not doing any kind of cut crease or whatever, because I don't want my eyelids to look like they weigh 10,000 pounds, I'm going to try to brighten up the center of my eye, and I'm just going to kind of take my finger and go in with Blondie again, which is what I put down first. This is the lightest shade in the palette, and it's like a light peachy sort of pink. And I'm just going to go right on the inside, middle portion of my eye, try to make that pop a little bit. There's a little message on the top here, and it says, "You are so pretty." That is really cute. My favorite little chartreuse color that I was so excited about when I first saw this in the store. I mean, it's covering the brush really nicely. So I'm going to go, I'm going in. Let me go with some of this teal. I have to. This is Heroes. Little David Bowie vibe right here. I'm going to go right underneath that chartreuse 1970. I'm going to take this out a little bit further. This is the fun part about playing with makeup is, you know, you're at home, you're by yourself, whatever, you can do whatever you want. There are no rules. Just have fun. Cool. Alright. Now I think I want to grab more of Rebel. And I'm just taking all of these colors right all the way out. Tomboy down below. Sort of copper-ish, but very faint. Shimmer. I think I'm pretty content with the colors. Blend out the bottom a little bit. I'm going to take NYX This is one of their Vivid Brights, Vivid Sapphire liquid liner. All right. I'm going to pop off camera and I'm going to do the other side, and then we'll finish this look. I'm back now and I have my eyelashes on, and what I use for eyelashes, or what I am using currently right now, are e.l.f. set that I purchased after the holidays, so it was on sale. So I have a ton of these that I can just use and dispose of. And the glue that I'm using, eyelash glue from Pure Cosmetics. There's a lot of glare coming off of my lights right now. There you see it right there, Pure Cosmetics. And it's a really nice vegan and cruelty-free adhesive for your eyelashes. Try it, it's a really, really nice adhesive. And now I'm going to blend the false lashes with my real eyelashes using my favorite mascara, which is Milk Kush mascara. I mention it a lot in my videos, and it has been my favorite mascara since it launched. It's absolutely the best mascara I've ever used. Is this palette going to create a really vibrant, drag sort of look? Absolutely not. It is exactly what it's a beachy punk look. This is for the guy or the girl who likes to wear makeup at the beach but wants to maybe use a little bit of color and is a little edgy. And that's exactly what it is, and it performs as such. My favorite e.l.f. Bright Pink blush that I use all the time. And I usually put it like right here, but I'm just gonna kind of go all the way out with it. And that's what we used to do in the 80s. I bought this a few months ago, and it's a NYX, and I like the formulation of it. It's Intense Butter Gloss. And I really like the formula of this because I have mature lips, and the as intense as this color is, it doesn't feather or bleed. So, and then I saw this shade and I had to have it. Yeah, that's crazy. If I can get my hands on some neon shadows, I'd like to do some looks again using neon colors because I miss it so much. Alright guys, and now I'm going to use Natural Finish setting spray from Wet n Wild, and I use that to put down the purple shade on the eyeshadow. It is so nice to see 80s culture still relevant with youth today. It's really remarkable to see Queen make a resurgence again, and with the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, I've seen it so many times, I'm obsessed with it. I've been a Queen fan since the 70s, and it's just so nice to see their music touch a new generation or new generations, and it warms my heart so much. Music of the 80s was so awesome. I loved Tears for Fears, I loved Queen, I loved Sting, I loved The Police, I loved The Clash, I loved David Bowie, Blondie. If you want to have a good day, if you want to put yourself in a good mood with some nice positive vibes, put on some 80s music and just sit back, relax, and just enjoy yourselves, because it was a fun time to be alive, kids. Anyway, thank you so much for coming with me on my 80s glam journey. It was so much fun to do, sitting out here in the woods with all the squirrels and the birds and the fairies and the goblins. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and share to your heart's content. Bye. Oh, one last thing, guys. I really enjoyed the 80s inspired look that I created with this palette, but this is an everyday look that I created for work the following day, and I really love the way it came out. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Bye.